Drop it like it's hot. Yeah, drop it on that.
And we're gonna go ahead and start on
No. Oh, we started.
Nice. Hello, everybody, and welcome to TTV episode 298.
Oh, man.
I'm Meso.
I'm LJ.
And hello, everybody. How are y'all doing this fine evening?
The first thing people are gonna hear when they click this video is drop it like it's hot and drop it on that.
Or making his podcast return in style.
Oh my god.
Everybody, it's someone's first episode every time.
Every single time.
Yeah,
What's up,
how you two
everybody?
doing? It's been a while since us three have been on a podcast.
Yeah, well, we were on the
Has it?
podcast, just the three of us, like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks is a while.
Oh my gosh.
When was the last time we did? Like, I was on Brickfeed not too long ago.
Yeah, that was the last time.
Dude, it's been a while. A whole Ninjago season has aired since me, Var, and
Wow.
you were on a podcast
Give me a
together.
break.
Yeah, but the whole Ninjago season has aired in like the span of a week. So
Yeah, that's the joke. Yeah. How you been, Var? How's
Been
life
good.
been treating you?
been okay. Life's been awesome. Let me tell you. I lost my job. Don't have money to afford my apartment, so I have to move. Had to sell everything. Someone I knew from high school died recently. It's been great.
Nice. That's
Is
great.
that last one nice?
Listen,
All
death is a
good
part
stuff.
of life.
Oh my goodness, do not
Death
start
Death is
doing
indeed
this.
a part of life.
It's true.
I like this comment. On the plus side, Var got a van by T. Lee Khan in the patron chat.
I got it.
Nice.
Ant-Man. Oh. Yeah, my girlfriend broke up with me. My mom got deported. But at least I still got the van.
Var's
Oh.
repressed the first Ant-Man.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember it.
And the first Ant-Man was a garbage movie. Second one was pretty good.
They're like the same in quality.
They're not.
What?
They're not at all.
Meso,
They are definitely not the same in quality.
Ant-Man is like they made a movie, and Ant-Man 2 is like this thing people liked. Here's like more of it, and here's a lot more of it.
Mhm.
Like the quantity, there's more good stuff, but the stuff that makes it good has been there all along. That's kind of how I like to look at it. Wasp was cool. Hope was cool in the first movie. Louise is funny. He was the same character in the first movie. Cute daughter.
Well, I mean,
is cool
there
first movie.
was less Luis in this movie, and he was used
You're right.
far more.
He was
sparingly,
reserved.
which
That's
was
a good
better
point.
because he was annoying in the first movie.
How
Hope
dare
got
you.
her time to shine, which is better because in the first movie it was all Ant-Man's focus, and he wasn't very entertaining on his own. But he's far more entertaining when he's got someone to work with.
Anyway, if you haven't seen our review of Ant-Man and
It's
the
a better
Wasp,
movie.
check it
This is
out.
wrong. It's fine.
That
We're all
was
wrong
good.
sometimes.
Oh my
Episode
gosh.
just happens to be wrong more times than others. It's
come
fine.
on.
Happens.
And now I remember why I'm not on a podcast with you.
Oh, you think you are the one that gets to decide that? Oh, silly knack.
I have the power to decide things. I have control over my life.
That's funny.
Var!
I mean, I'm the one who chose not to be on the podcast.
Says you. I've decided not
I
to.
can pull up all the chat logs where you begged me to join Ninjago Cast, and I had to tell you no.
That is true, I did do that. But listen, it was for Ninjago, dude, and you forsook it.
I didn't.
It was a good season. And for what? A desert aesthetic?
Oh my gosh, Meso, do not even begin.
Hey, LJ, can you contribute anything to this conversation other than "Oh my gosh"? Do not.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh my gosh, Menso, do not. Oh my gosh, don't even start. Oh my gosh, Menso.
Okay,
really?
fine, I will add some of this conversation. So things have been pretty swell for me too. I went to Comic-Con.
Yeah, no one
Cool.
cares about
San
you going to
Diego
Comic-Con.
You were at SDCC, dude. How was it?
Yeah, no, I was at Idaho Comic-Con. It was
That's so lame.
it was a lot smaller. But it was a good time. It was fun. I met two people. I went with my mask. I went dressed as me, as I told everyone. which sounds a lot more egotistic than it did in my head.
It does.
But
I was dressed as me.
2 people.
I just want to point out in the chat, Haley has said that I have been replaced on Ninjago Cast.
Oh boy.
This is actually a incorrect frame of reference. I, in fact, was the one who replaced Ninjago Cast in my life.
Wow. What a void of nothingness.
With far more better uses for my time.
Like what?
Like literally anything. So watching paint dry, probably
Oh.
a better use of my time.
Don't do this, Var. Don't be like this.
Var,
Nah.
why do you hurt us? Why?
Keep talking about your dumb Comic-Con trip no one cares about. Let's do
Oh
this.
my gosh. Anyway.
From TileCon, Var sunsetted his fandom of Ninjago. Rip Ninjago TLDR, gone too soon. Continue
Gone
on.
forever.
I mean, long
I
story
mean, you
short,
could blame Lego for that one.
it needs to be
It was
shorter.
going strong.
Yeah, no, 2 people came up to me that recognized my Miru, and 1 person knew who I was, and it was awesome, and I'm very happy.
Oh, I just realized this is another story where you're just bragging about people like noticing you and stuff. Okay.
It was a happy time, Var. It
Yeah,
was a
all your
good
happy
thing that
times
happened.
Center around you getting attention. Have you
Oh,
noticed
I'm sorry.
this?
Okay,
Have you
fine.
noticed this, Meso?
Yeah, I've noticed.
What the heck? You wanted me to contribute? This was a story. I've told the story. Now what?
Are you gonna brag about your show next? You gonna say advertise your show? Be like, hey,
Well,
people, you
actually-
should check out the LJ Johnson show.
I thank you
Oh,
for
hey,
advertising.
people, let's go to Brick Fair so that I can hand you all a bunch of comics because I need more attention in my life.
Gosh, man, someone is a bitter
LJ.
Billy today, huh? Jeez. I'm
Just call it like
sorry.
I see it,
I'm
brother.
sorry, Var, that you're sitting there in the corner crying.
Do I sound like I'm crying?
On the inside, yes, your soul
Wow.
is crying.
Well, yeah, you're probably right about that.
I know I am.
Var's outward trollishness is just an internalized.
Oh, you're wanting to
form
talk,
of,
Meso. You want to talk about outward trollishness?
Oh, I forgot I'm mad at you.
Yo.
Oh my god. Why are you mad at me?
I'm mad at him.
been a
Everybody, so
week.
you all know.
Still don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
why.
not gonna get over this until you figure it out yourself.
Well, it's like,
I didn't even do anything and you're banding me.
I mean, technically,
I like
you
it
did
was
a
like
lot.
a self-fulfilling prophecy that day. I wasn't even actually mad at Meso, and then he actually made me mad on the same day. It was great.
See, Messi, you actually did a lot to him.
Yeah, you did. You always do stuff.
Yeah.
You're an awful person.
Oh,
Oh.
hey, Elge.
What?
You may be showing the wrong text. No, never mind.
No, you false alarm message.
RGB gaming. Why you mess?
Why would you just immediately assume he's right without verifying yourself?
I
the
did
heck?
verify, but like I mentioned it whilst I was verifying.
What?
You preempted your verification.
Exactly. I had it loading up, but I was like, oh, there, you might. Oh wait.
It's like someone calling the president, going like, "Hey, Mr. President, we might be getting nuked right now. I'm checking." Oh, never mind. Sorry, false alarm.
Seriously, my goodness.
Pardon me for
Oh,
caring.
you are that Hawaiian announcement. Like, like there are bombs running covered. Wait. Oh, sorry, guys.
False
Our
alarm.
bad.
I still
False
can't
alarm.
believe that happened. That's insane.
Dude, it is. It's like, it's actually fascinating. I was watching a video on YouTube. Like, it was this creepy like horror channel that talks about a bunch of like scary, creepy, morbid stuff. Just
Yeah.
talking about how legitimately scary some of the recordings are, because it's just people who just know they're going to die, basically, just continuing out their lives, being like, well, guess I'm going to sit here and play golf,
There's that one guy.
completely thinking he's dead.
There's that one guy who was in line at a restaurant, and like everyone else, they got the alarm and they ran off. That one guy, he just was like, well, the line's gone. I'm gonna go get my food. You know, we're
Yeah.
getting nuked anyway.
Literally me. That's how I would go out.
Hypothetically, you Meso. You have not
Dude, I
literally
have
been in that
no
situation.
idea how I would react to that situation.
I would eat everything. I'd eat
Well.
all the gluten if I thought I was gonna die by bomb.
I'd like to die by bomb.
Why would you say something like that?
Streaming live on the internet. I'd like to die by bomb.
That's a Meso quote for the ages. I would eat all the
Fans,
gluten.
that is not an opportunity for you to kill me via bomb. Please
Yeah.
don't do that.
Also, bomb threats aren't funny. They're not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny.
No.
But I mean, like by nuke though, not like an actual bomb, like a nuke bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like a kind of pop and dead. You know, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
It's
pop
like,
and dead. Mm-hmm.
pop and dead.
Mm-hmm.
Pop it like it's hot.
Pop it like it's dead.
Pop it like it's dead. So yeah, just drop that nuke right on top of me. Let's do it.
And on that note,
Drop that hard F.
speaking of things that are dead, the DC cinematic universe.
Wait, what?
Well,
Dead?
no, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
very
If,
dead.
if anything, I think
Not,
we
not
got
the
a renaissance.
cinematic universe. Let's before we get to the good. How about the
Yeah.
DC TV universe?
All right, so I actually had hopes for this.
Me too.
Everyone had hopes
I
for
thought
this.
that this was a genius idea by DC, because here's the one thing that DC does better than Marvel is their TV movies, their animated movies, their animated shows. All this stuff is the one thing that DC has got down. So making a network for it all to be on exclusively is a genius idea.
Yep.
And then the first thing they show off is this Titans trailer, which
Oh my god.
I thought was one of
It
the
was
most
special.
unintentionally funny things in my life.
I haven't seen something that try hard, edgy to the point of comedy since Shadow the Hedgehog. That everyone memes years later. Ow, the edge. That's about what this was like.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
It made me laugh the first time I watched it. There's the infamous quote, which everybody knows.
Yeah.
The F
Player
Batman
truck
quote.
Batman.
Struck Batman.
What about Batman? Duck Batman.
Struck Batman. It's funny because up until that point the trailer was all right, okay, I get
Because it
it.
was
All
just
right.
showing Robin, and Robin was doing cool things.
Yeah, it's
That's
this looks
why-
cool. Okay, cool. And then that happens, and then it just goes off the rails
Yep.
into
As soon
weird
as he says
territory.
that, we see not Robin, Raven looking like a bad cosplayer with
Oh, they all
dumb,
look like bad cosplayers.
really dumb horror movie cliche effect.
Some more
Beast
than
Boy
others.
jumping through the air ridiculously, and then Starfire.
Poor Starfire.
Poor Starfire.
Oh boy.
I don't know what they've done to Starfire,
So-
but it's not good.
I've heard rumor that the costume Starfire has, at the very least in the first episode, is impromptu. It's apparently the character's at a party or a club or whatnot, and it's a themed party or club, which is why she looks just with the wig and whatnot. But then they show a clip in the trailer of her hair lighting up with glowing effects, from her powers. So it leads me to believe, no, that's just the costume.
Yep.
And it's awful.
I mean-
It's just hideous.
If that was the case, you'd think we'd get some kind of promo or image or something of her final costume, so people would stop talking about it. That would be a good PR move to do. They did it with Robin. I don't know why they wouldn't do it with Starfire too.
Yeah.
Everyone said this exact same thing about for Marvel's Inhumans, Medusa. They were like, her hair looks so bad. And they were like, maybe it's not going to be the case for the rest of the show. It ended up being right only because they chopped all her hair off and she was bald for the entire show. Typically, people market the most accurate look of the character first. You know what I mean? And they subvert later on.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be done this way, reverse.
And this trailer gave me all kinds of Inhumans vibes.
Oh
Honestly.
yeah, it's the
It-
exact
it-
same kind of low budget, really try hard kind of forced drama.
We're
a lot
trying
of
to make this
artificial
work, but
angst.
there's just nothing here.
They're trying to click the pieces together, but it's the pieces just won't fit no matter what they do.
And
You have
it's
the,
such
you
a-
have the characters, but you do not have the tone that you would expect from Teen Titans.
You don't even have the characters. You have the names of the characters attributed to people that don't even look like the characters or act like the characters.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on right now?
Like,
It's
I
so
never
bad.
followed the Teen Titans characters in the actual comics. I only know them from the Cartoon Network show.
True,
And that
same for
obviously
me.
had a very certain tone to it. I'm not sure if that was necessarily accurate to the comics. Like, I'm sure they had their dark moments. You know, the old show had its dark moments. But it wasn't like this. This was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Dick Grayson isn't really in the comics, at least. I don't recall him ever being the screw Batman, let's kill people kind of dude either. Like that's very Jason Todd. Which
Yeah.
I guess if they try to say that this is Jason Todd, then sure, I guess that works. Maybe it's kind of
Most
strange
definitely.
that Jason Todd is Robin for Titans, but sure.
It is super strange. But
I don't know. It was bad. It was a really bad trailer. The effects were terrible. The characters are terrible. They're all like. Raven's really whiny. I don't know what's going on there. I don't like the actress that they chose for Raven at all.
help me, Robin.
Yeah. You're my only hope.
Yeah, she's really, really pathetic, honestly.
And I feel like the actress for Starfire could absolutely pull it off if they actually tried to make her look like Starfire. So kudos to her, I guess. The guy they got for Robin looks good. It looks fine. I was impressed with the promo stills that they released prior to the trailer. He always looked great in those. The suit looks great. I don't know why they decided to do this weird twist on his character, but
I'll never forget this song. It's like, madness, madness. And then it just jumps down to Robin killing everybody in brutal ways. Truck Batman.
It was
Yeah,
bad. It was
I
like some really, really bad, like fan fiction.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
good.
I don't know. It doesn't even have like a good aesthetic to it either. It doesn't even look pretty. Like at least with like Riverdale, which is another example of a TV show that completely edged up a non-edgy comic book. They gave it an aesthetic. It has like an art style to it almost, and it works. In a weird way, it works. So maybe, just maybe they could pull it off. They're not going to though. Not judging by that trailer.
No.
Definitely not. And I'm not sure, like, this is on the DC streaming service, so it has no connection to Arrow,
No.
Flash, any
Not
of that.
related to CW
It's its
at all.
own universe.
Good.
Wonderful.
Should have been what happened
Yeah.
in Humans.
Yeah. And in Humans, one day, I mark my words, they will come out and just be like, yeah, this didn't happen.
Yeah, they need to give it some
They
time
will-
in between the release of Inhumans and in whatever else they want to do with them, possibly eventually.
Yeah, they need to, like, cast that show aside.
I'm not gonna watch this show.
That's Titans. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch every episode. It's gonna be hilarious. We're
I-
gonna sync view it.
I have zero interest in the show at all.
It doesn't even look entertaining bad, dude. It just looks bad.
Exactly, that's
Just-
the thing. It's like someone in the YouTube live chat, Sevs the Nothing, said probably still better than Teen Titans Go. Well, watch the movie apparently.
Yeah, movie's getting really good reviews.
Yeah.
Well, it was at 100% when it had only 10 reviews. I don't know if it's gonna hold that or not. I
Fair
don't
point.
think it will.
I don't think it will either, but 10 critics thought it was worthy of a 7.9, and that has that surprises me. It surprises me that it isn't immediately in the low 50s.
I mean, Teen Titans Go is
Well,
not a bad show from everything
yeah.
we've seen. People dislike it not because it's
The only people
bad.
that don't like Teen Titans Go are the people that liked Teen Titans.
Yeah, exactly. People dislike it because it is prominent and it's getting all of the views and the attention. But the original Teen Titans got ended, and it's been replaced with something that does not have the level of depth. Teen Titans had comedy, but it also had a story and a serious thing. Teen Titans Go is purely comedy, but the episodes I've seen were funny.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
But
it's a
We've
it's a
seen a
cartoon
couple
movie.
episodes, and
Yeah,
every time we saw them, I found enjoyment out of it. So
definitely.
We should watch some more just for fun.
maybe it's not really my thing,
Titans.
but yeah. I mean, like I'm
I'm
glad the
happy
movie's
if the
doing
movie's
good.
getting good reviews.
Yeah,
Hopefully it
so-
sticks.
And it's really popular with kids, and I hope they have a good time seeing it. So
I think as far as DC is concerned, where we'll get the most positivity during this episode is talking about the movie trailers.
Yes.
Because there was Aquaman, which we knew was coming, but surprisingly, they also released a Shazam trailer.
Which they called a teaser, but it was
was
definitely
full-length.
not a teaser. It was longer than normal trailers are.
It was like three
It
minutes.
was almost 3 minutes long.
Yeah. Aquaman was only like 2.5.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, this is not a teaser at all. This is like the whole premise here.
Yup. I got insights into the tone, the lore, the character,
It looks
stuff.
great. It looks so good.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Shazam as a character. All I know is it was a very entertaining.
The only thing that I knew about Shazam going into it was that this was a kid who could transform into Superman, basically. Right? He's got the power to become Superman at the will of the word, which is a freaking awesome premise. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And I knew that could absolutely be a hit if they had fun with it, you know? It's a cool concept and a cool idea that a lot of people would enjoy if it was, happy tone, funny, comedic. It's a kid who's a superhero. Make it fun, you know? Don't make this another whatever the past DC movies were.
Yeah.
Totally.
This
It looks like that's what they're doing.
the trailer showed a lot of potential. The only reason why I'm
Yeah.
hesitant is because so did the Suicide
Track
Squad
record.
trailers.
Rest in peace, Suicide Squad. Whoever marketed that movie, may you have a wonderful career.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing I will say is that the Suicide Squad trailer was really good, but it was also very deceptive. There wasn't really any scenes from the movie in it. Like it was a clip show set to music.
Yeah.
You didn't really get any actual context for those scenes. Here,
This was
though,
pretty much all context.
yeah, here it was all context. Here it was all scenes playing out, not at full length, but you could hear dialogue between characters and how they interact in the movie and everything. So I think this is definitely more of a look at how the movie will be versus the Suicide Squad one.
I hope so,
I'll agree there.
because it looked really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
It's bright, it's vibrant, it looks pretty. Finally, whoever they got at DC to do the freaking coloring for the past DC movies needs to just go away, because
Yeah.
those movies are so bad. The color grading is so awful to watch. It's not fun at all. Finally, there's some color. Thank you.
but what
They
about-
learned their lesson from Wonder Woman, I hope.
What about Justice League, which I still haven't seen?
We should do that.
You keep saying
Justice
that.
League. Justice League was an example of a movie where they're like, crap, we realized this isn't working, but we already spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this thing, and we're
It was
halfway done with
momentum, basically.
it. Yeah.
They just went ahead and released it. They tried to make it work tone-wise, and they ended up just creating
It
a
was too late.
mishmash.
Yeah. It was too late at that point. But, I mean, hope for the sequel. Justice League 2 might be good.
I think
Yeah.
my favorite scene in the trailer was when Shazam walked out of the convenience store with a 6-pack, and then it cut to the robbers, and then when it cut back to him, he had a bag of Cheetos, a bag of Fritos, a can of drink, and no 6-pack in sight. That was my favorite scene.
Oh my gosh.
Why are you like this?
I mean, it's a trailer, so I think we can assume
I'm
that
just-
the
I'm
cut
just
isn't
leaving.
back to back, but
Yeah, I'm just joking, but that was my actual favorite scene with him walking out and going like, "Yeah, I'm a superhero."
I like the
Which
part.
it's perfect. The tone is so good. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Just a kid in a man's body, pretending like he's like this big shot macho superhero. It's great. Cool idea. Lovely
Yeah.
idea. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a good movie, I hope.
I am looking forward to seeing how this turns out. Not necessarily looking forward to the movie, but I hope it's good. But yeah,
It's
Sorry
just-
about
this
your window, but you're welcome for not being wrong.
It's a hard movie to get wrong, IMO. I do think the one thing that could make or break it is how they handle the villain,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe is Black Adam, right?
Maybe
Because they casted The Rock as Black Adam before.
they did.
I don't know if that's still going on.
I don't think he's in this movie, but I don't know.
I think they're
Yeah,
making a standalone Black Adam movie.
Yeah, that's what I was under the impression of.
Oh,
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson will not
weird.
cameo as Black Adam.
Why the heck would they do that?
Shazam, back in January 2017, Shazam to split into 2 films. Dwayne Johnson to star as Black Adam. He has proved vibrant enough to become its own film to star Dwayne Johnson. Originally, the plan was for him to play the character in Shazam.
I mean,
Odd.
that is really weird. So who's the villain for this movie then?
The guy in the trailer, the bald dude.
That he tried to punch?
Darren Cross.
Yeah.
Darren Cross is his name?
He had like
Okay.
a fur coat.
No, that's the guy from Ant-Man 1. I'm just joking.
He looked like a super stereotypical superhero villain, which I hope, honestly, they run with completely. And embrace that. Like, he had like a robotic eye and a fur coat and like a suit.
That totally could work for Shazam. You're right.
It'd be great.
If they went with like completely generic, dumb, like obvious supervillain,
He needs
that
to have
might...
like a doomsday weapon that's
Yeah.
going to like rain missiles down upon the planet's
that could
capital.
totally work for Shazam. It might be the only superhero movie where that kind of villain would make total sense.
Prentice says it'd be great if we never actually learn his plan because Shazam talks over the monologue.
That would be really
perfect.
funny. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that idea. Yeah, so
Fingers
I'm really looking forward to
crossed.
Shazam. The one thing I did notice is that the actor that they got for Shazam looks a bit too thin. But it's weird because it's obvious he's wearing like a muscle padded suit to make it look like he has muscles, but the actual actor isn't quite as ripped. 'Cause, like his head is really thin, and it looks like he's got this like pencil neck sticking out of this really puffy marshmallow body. I thought that was kind of
Don't
silly
pick
looking.
on Zachary Levi, man.
Nah,
Well,
go
it's
ahead.
fine. It's just a strange thing with the costume design.
He also looks vaguely familiar. Prentice says yes, he was in Marvel. This is true.
I'll be honest. I didn't even recognize it when they switched the actors for that Marvel character.
I didn't either.
Come on.
I didn't. I'm
It's
serious.
like-
I'm not even
Here's
trying to
an
be.
Alex Ross painting of Shazam, right? And a screenshot from the movie. And it's like his goofy, thin face popping out of that, like, body.
Man,
It's just kind of strange. I don't know.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
It's gonna be a good movie, I hope. In the realm of
I like how
things-
Wadden just posted a picture of Zachary Levi, and I feel like this kind of proves the point a little bit because he looks really kind of flabby.
Oh,
Yeah. It looks like he has a lot of muscle, but not a lot of fat to go along with it. You know?
It's not bulk, yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there's-
Yeah. Exactly. He's not. He's muscular. He's lean. He's not bulky.
Yeah. But yeah,
true enough.
it's
realm
just a
of-
funny thing I noticed. It's not like a problem or anything.
In the realm of things that may or may not be good, Aquaman.
I thought the Aquaman trailer looked great. IMO. So.
I did not.
I feel like I'm kind of mixed because on the one hand I looked at that and I was like, huh, okay, this could be fun. I like Jason Momoa. I like him in Justice League. He's cool.
I wouldn't know.
It's very vibrant. It's very bright. It has a lot of good colors. It certainly is not your stereotypical DC movie in terms of aesthetic. My problem with it's twofold. They're doing the multiple villains thing, which
Yeah.
never ends well.
Well, it
Aquaman's
sometimes ends well.
Aquaman's brother and also Black Manta. That's always a recipe for disaster, mostly. And two,
Maybe.
it looked very, very cluttered in terms of the environments. Because some of the movie is going to be on land, some of it's in a desert area for some reason, and then some is underwater, and then some is on like an oil rig, where I think Black Manta is, perhaps his base of operations, perhaps not. Takuma put it best, it was like it's very hard to look at that trailer and be like, all right, what is the plot?
Is
Which
it about?
I don't actually consider a problem because DC's history, they have a habit of spelling out their plots in their trailers. and this one did not do that, which I appreciate.
Are you sure?
For me,
Not really, but it's better than.
I think I can
BVS.
kind of figure out a framework. I mean, Aquaman doesn't want to do things with Atlantis. A lady comes up, hey, do things with Atlantis. And the brother's like, I'm going to be king of Atlantis. And he's kind of a jerk. Aquaman goes down. They have a little bit of a tussle. I guess he probably partially loses. And then they have a big fight about it. And Black Manta's thrown somewhere in there. I don't actually think he's going to be a heavy focus, personally. But that's just from the trailer.
Isn't he like his arch villain?
I don't know.
I think so. Yes.
All right. He probably has to have a heavy focus.
Also, it's Black Manta. Yeah, he is the archenemy of Aquaman. So,
All right, then yeah, it's a big deal.
yeah, he's
good.
probably a big deal.
I freaking bust out laughing in the trailer when they showed Black Manta.
I thought
Put
it was
it
so
up on
cool,
the
dude.
screen.
Okay, there it is.
Since you described it and your logic behind liking it, I think I actually like it as well. for very similar
Here's why I
reasons.
like this trailer. Here's why I like the trailer, and why I like Black Manta, and why it all worked for me. Because for one thing, to me, the trailer was the antithesis to bad DC. DC isn't bad because of the crazy worlds and concepts and just ridiculous heroes or anything. It's bad because they don't know how to have fun with them. And instead, they keep trying to do these stupid, dark, gritty, overly serious, poorly made story beats with these really charming, heroic, happy characters.
You are
And
correct.
they're putting them, and they're misusing them. So to me, this trailer was the antithesis to that. It looked fun. It looked bright. It looked vibrant. The colors were all there. The world looked crazy cool to me. And I got like major Thor Ragnarok vibes from it. Like a mixture of Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther. Like the going to Wakanda for the first time. I got that kind of vibe as well.
Yeah, it's very similar in presentation. It's like
Yeah.
Asgard and Wakanda and stuff.
Yeah, so that's how I feel. Like this movie feels like a wild ride of craziness, and you're just kind of like there for the ride, And I think that is the best way to handle this kind of movie.
Yeah, I do not disagree, most certainly.
So I like that they're embracing the silliness of it. I like that Black Manta looks so silly because it works. Like I feel like comic movies are best when they embrace the corniness of it and
you're right.
and make it work.
You're totally right. And I do happen to agree with that logic. For me, with DC, like Wonder Woman is the best movie, but really Wonder Woman was, it wasn't a crazy movie as far as a plot. It was very basic, decently formulaic. It was enjoyable because of the characters being likable. That was really the core of it. And Wonder Woman was not an edgy, kind of like try-hard, gritty hero who had been through so much in the tragic past, and we have to explore the nuanced mentality. She was very earnest, very honest, and relatable. And I think they're trying to do more movies like that, rather than get bogged down by the minutia of moral ambiguity like BVS, which just wasn't enjoyable to watch whatsoever. Even Justice League, to a degree, fell into that trap because it was too late to change course. So, yeah, I'm down for movies like this. I just want to like the characters.
Yeah.
That's really it. Aquaman was pretty likable, but he also didn't do much. This is his chance to do something.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm also concerned because there's so much CG. Justice League CG was not great.
That's why I think if they just embrace it. Like they know the CG is not going to be great all around. Just go crazy with it. And it looks like that's what they're doing, and that's why I think it's going to work. Is because it looks like they're taking it and they're not trying to make this a movie where it's super hyper realistic or anything. They're going all out with it. Make it just a fun adventure, and that I think is the way to go about this.
I can respect that. LJ, you might be more interested in it whenever we watch Justice League because you can see a little bit of what Aquaman's all about.
Yeah, maybe.
You gotta do that.
No, I don't think you will.
No, you won't? You think the opposite?
I think I do not think Justice League is a good way to sell the Aquaman movie at all. No,
He's cool, man.
he's not cool.
He's kind of cool.
He's literally just one-liners, like
He
5
is.
one-liners. That's his entire character
But
in
he's
that movie.
he's so cool.
His lines. Here's his best line in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not wrong. He's not wrong.
he says, yeah, and then he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, and then there's a woo. That's his character. My man.
He's a bro. He's like surfer dude, superhero.
I really,
all he is in that movie.
I really want to watch the movie just so I can lampoon it, like, just so I can see it and go, yeah, this was absolutely horrendous.
Come on, man.
But yeah.
All right.
Well, one last thing I want to touch on with Black Manta is that it's another shift in focus for DC and its design philosophy in terms of character design. And going back to the whole, like, I feel like they're having more fun with the characters now. If you look at other DC movies and how they've designed these characters and, like, their outfits and their suits and everything, they're really, for me, they're poorly designed. But mostly because they're over-designed, right? They try so hard to make them look real cool that it does the opposite. They look terrible. Like Cyborg in Justice League. His weird alien robotic whatever proto form that he has looks so gross and over-designed. So is Flash's outfit, so over-designed. What's his face in Wonder Woman? Oh, Ares. Yeah, they were trying so hard to be like, how can we make this work? I got it. Plain armor.
Yes.
Make him kind of resemble the comic, but it'll be super edgy and cool and realistic. And it just does the opposite. So I'm glad we're getting a supervillain who has a suit that just, it's round, it's not over-designed, it's kind of goofy looking, it's simple, there's shapes, it's got a really memorable silhouette with a very iconic, like, two beaming red eyes in the darkness kind of thing. It's really memorable. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I kind of like it now. I never didn't like it. I just thought it was funny, which may have been like intended.
Like, we could have gotten something so generic, ugly sci-fi, like this art right here, where it's like it just looks like another alien from every other thing ever made before ever. You know?
You're not wrong there. That certainly doesn't scream originality.
I'll get it on screen. Just a moment.
Do it.
I will. Keep talking, but
or this gross thing here, this like CG rendering, like it's not bad, but it's not iconic. It's not memorable for me. To me, the big giant red eyes is very memorable. It's very it's very characteristic of the character. Like it's suddenly appealing now. It's like looking at Overwatch, right? Yeah, a good character design, you can tell who the character is just by the silhouette. You don't need the details at all. Just a black image, silhouette of the character. You immediately know that's Tracer or that's Roadhog. With this, I think that it works for him. Very, very clear, distinct silhouette. So
I get what you're talking about. I like it too. You won me over, Var.
Anyway,
I have high hopes for Aquaman. I don't want the DC universe to fail. We've talked about it numerous times with like BVS, a little bit with Justice League, but BVS was really the biggest offender. We don't want it to fail, or at least not all of us do. Looks sideways at LJ.
Hey, I don't want it to fail. However, it is immensely more entertaining watching their movies fail than it is watching their movies. So it's not like I want them to fail necessarily, because I don't really have a vested interest in DC. It's just immensely entertaining.
I just like Marvel having competition, because I like Marvel, but there will inevitably be a day where like they slip up and they make a bad movie.
Yeah. I mean, they're
one company doesn't need the monopoly, you know.
Yeah. Like Marvel's made really good movies, and their most recent movies have been good too. But I also feel the similarities between them all. Right? They've got the formula, and that's the part I don't like. It'd be
DC
nice
movies at least do feel
different, kind
of sometimes.
Yeah.
Not from each other, but from standard superhero fare. It does feel like you're watching a different experience, a worse experience, but a different one nonetheless. And I think variety is one of the things that will help that that subgenre stay alive and stay fresh, and we don't
Mhm.
need to lose that. And if DC continues on the trajectory they have been, we will lose that. So, I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What next? Godzilla. I know you're beyond hyped about that.
Godzilla looks so.
I wish
good.
Vin was here because he would share in your enthusiasm.
Oh
I,
my
I thought
gosh.
the trailer was fantastic. I just don't know the history. But you were talking about some of the stuff with like Ghidorah, and it sounds really interesting.
Yeah. So the first Godzilla movie was a good movie, but obviously it was kind of set up. It was almost false advertising in a way because you barely saw Godzilla.
Of
And
course.
you go into a Godzilla movie expecting Godzilla to fight monsters, and he does fight some monsters in that movie, but they're just two like really lame kind of no-name monsters that die pretty fast, and you barely see the fight. It lasts like 20 minutes at most.
Rip.
So it was a good movie, but definitely left a bit more to be desired. This movie, on the other hand, whoa, they're going all out with this one. So they brought in three classic monsters from Godzilla: Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah. Rodan's kind of a throwaway character. He's not that popular. He's iconic because he's a classic, but Ghidorah and Mothra are awesome. And from what I can tell from this movie, they look amazing. Very nicely well realized, and the power set, like they scaled these freaking monsters up, dude. Holy crap! You see Rodan flying, and it's like destroying that town. That one scene, it looks like there's a nuke going off, and he's just flying over the city. Like, oh man, it looks so cool.
So, being the devil's advocate, I sometimes am. Are you not concerned that they might be using all of the monsters in one movie and like churning and burning Godzilla's greats?
I mean, do you know how many monsters Godzilla has? There's
No, I know.
a ton of
But like
monsters.
you're mentioning like the biggest hits, the greatest ones, and it's like the second
Well,
movie.
they're beloved, yes.
Yeah.
Ghidorah is considered the arch nemesis of Godzilla.
Yeah.
But there are plenty more monsters where that comes from. I mean, Destroya kills Godzilla. And we haven't gotten Destroya, we haven't gotten Biollante, we haven't gotten, I think it's Megalon was his name. Gigan, who's kind of a joke, but a really cool design regardless.
Fair enough.
Space Godzilla, like there's so many monsters.
Space Godzilla.
Dude, Space Godzilla is freaking cool, dude. He looks awesome.
All hail space.
I'm imagining Godzilla in like a NASA spacesuit ready for space camp. It's like, oh
I wanna
boy,
see
can't
that
wait
movie.
to get on a spaceship.
Yeah, dude. All hail space Godzilla.
He actually has a spaceship, but it's made of crystals.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my god. That's fantastic.
He's Godzilla, but with giant space crystals coming out of him.
Yeah, people have been raving about this trailer. I think it's like
so
unanimously
good,
loved.
dude. It's
hope-
so good.
Hopefully, it's a good movie. I want to see it with you guys at some point.
Oh yeah, and King Kong. We are going to be getting a Godzilla versus King Kong movie.
Really?
That is the next movie, 2020. Yes.
That I did not know. How interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that.
It's a little strange because King Kong Skull Island was an okay movie. It was it was fine. But you can tell something was weird because they scaled King Kong up a ton. And obviously it's clear why now, so he can fight Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a connected universe.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean, if it's good, I got no beef.
Yeah. We'll see. I think the one thing that I will say in terms of concern maybe is that they've scaled the monsters up so much now that their powers are like obviously ridiculous and kind of crazy. Like Ghidorah causes hurricanes by flying, which in concept is really cool sounding, and you see it in the movie. Like you see him causing these like crazy hurricanes and like thunderstorms and everything. And that's awesome. But then you look and like the entirety of DC is completely wiped out in that one scene, and it's like, all right, well they might be too strong now.
There's a concern about like power creep or believability.
Yeah, like I mean, the suspense is people trying to survive against these threats, but like if everyone's dead, then you know.
There's not a lot of suspense.
Yes. So
Interesting.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're going with it because they just seem like they're too big now. So,
Hmm.
but I mean, it looks cool.
I mean, I'm
Designs
happy
look
if
cool.
people are happy. I'm gonna go see the movie 100%. So
Very pretty trailer. Composition wise, it
good
looked
music.
beautiful. So good. The colors and everything, and great music.
Oh
Good
yeah.
soundtrack choice. Very good trailer.
Well, it sounds like it'll be neat. I've never had a vested interest in Godzilla or anything related to him, but
I'm sure next time Vin's on the podcast, he'll flip out about it. So stay tuned for that continued reaction.
probably.
Also, something that Vin. Wait, what, Var?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, like, I wish there was like a thing I could compare it to, in terms of hype, because like it's like watching something you really liked as a kid, but it was really goofy and kind of lame, turned into this like super awesome, hyper realized version of it. That's what I can't think of any direct comparison for that though.
I mean, I know, it's probably how some people felt when they announced the Transformers movie before they saw it was Michael Bay Transformers.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
like,
Yeah, it's similar to Transformers, I guess,
just
but
done well.
way better. Yeah, way better.
All right, let's talk about. I guess before Glass, I want to mention how like the Bumblebee movie is a thing, and they're like rebooting the Transformers universe. Speaking of that, apparently everyone thought Starscream was going to be in the movie, but instead it's some other Decepticon in Blitzwing, who I think was in the Transformers animated, right?
He was, yes.
But apparently he looks just like G1 Starscream.
Yeah,
So everyone doesn't know how to feel about that.
I don't know what's going on. I read an interview with the guy that's directing the movie, and he said there is a reason why he looks like Starscream. So
weird.
apparently you need to watch the movie to find out.
Ah,
Either he becomes Starscream and that's like an evolution, or he's like a Starscream fanboy cosplayer. I don't know which would be worse.
I don't know. Well, the one cool, creative, unique thing about these guys is that Blitzwing and the other two Decepticons are triple changers. So they don't only have one alternate form; they can transform into 3 different things. So
That is pretty cool.
yeah, that's a pretty unique thing about these guys, and that was something that was always unique about Blitzwing as a toy too, is that he had 3 forms you can transform into. So I'm curious to see what that's about. Blitzwing is also, I don't know too much about Transformers, but he's also been kind of he's tied to Unicron, I think, at one point.
Oh God. Well,
So,
I hope.
He's not like a normal Decepticon, maybe? I don't know.
Listen, I am like partying in the streets like I'm sure everybody else is that Bayformers is over finally. I feel like it went on way too long. However, I am a little annoyed that it's over right before they got to Unicron. So I'm hoping they still do that just in this better new universe that they're going to hopefully build toward without Michael Bay's influence. So that's a thing. Anyway, what I was going to move on to, Glass, the sequel to Unbreakable, and also Split. We watched Split, the movie, a long time ago, and it was an incredible movie. I am fantastic all around. Then we later watched Unbreakable once it was revealed that was basically a sequel to that movie, a pseudo-sequel introducing the villain for a team-up movie. And I was beyond hype because of how cool I think that is. I've never seen any M. Night Shyamalan movies, so like I know there's a bit of a meme about him as a director, like being. Am I right about like having twists in his movies?
You know, yeah, it's kind of an ongoing thing. It's like, well, there are 2 things. It's one, at the end of every single one of his films, there's some sort of a twist, because he did it in some movies, like I believe it's called The Sixth Sense. Had a twist there, and it's this massive deal. It's like, whoa! And so it kind of became his thing. The other running joke is that all of his movies and his twists are just garbage, with few exceptions.
Unbreakable and Split being one of those exceptions.
2 of them. And then The Sixth Sense. I liked Signs. I thought it was a funny movie.
Yeah. Well, the spoiler is out there now because of this movie, but the twist for Split was that it was a sequel to Unbreakable.
Indeed, it was essentially creating a villain for an inevitable team-up movie.
Yeah.
Which
And
is a
obviously,
genius
like,
idea.
it is, and a lot of people in our audience probably wouldn't pick up on how significant that is. But Unbreakable was a very, very popular movie when it first came out. And it's been years since that movie. No one ever thought there would be any kind of connection or sequel or anything with that movie ever again, you know? And then you go see this other M. Night Shyamalan movie. You think it's completely different, you know, isolated thing, and you watch it till the end, and you realize, oh my gosh, this is a sequel. So, it was a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm. However, this trailer, like, I'll be honest, I personally loved it. I thought it was a great trailer. Seeing everyone come back, particularly Mr. Glass, who I did not expect to actually be in the movie despite the title. I don't know why. I just kind of assumed, like, I didn't even know it was called Glass until this trailer, but I thought it was going to be the Split guy fighting David Dunn. I didn't realize he was coming back as well.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see. It was really cool, except a few things, like Split guy not being, I don't know if it's the visual effects, or if it's the portrayal, or if it's the fact that the first movie was mainly in darkness, and it was like a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas this movie, it does not seem to be like that. It seems to be like an action movie. There's a lot of daylight fight scenes, a lot of daylight action. It didn't have the same vibe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what.
I think a lot of that has to do with the lighting and it not being in quite a dark space.
As you can see from our thumbnail,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is not the only shot in the trailer. There's one of him like running down, I think, a football field, and it just looks ludicrous.
It looks silly, yeah. it just looks like a bald man running on all fours through a forest. In Split he was terrifying. In this he just kind of looks goofy.
Yeah. I expected, like, behind him, the camera would just stay where it is. He'd run off screen, and then Wolverine would be behind him. Professor Xavier, come back here! It's really, really strange.
Yeah.
Put in a picture in our patron chat. It doesn't have the same effect when
it's not quite as cool. And there's, like, a shot of him, like, climbing up, like, a bar or something, and he's really fast and sped up, and it looks so silly.
Hopefully it's just like unfinished CG, but I'm not sure that's the case. I don't
think it's CG.
I think it's more about shot composition.
Yeah.
Because it was such a weird idea in the movie Split, I didn't expect to actually have it work. Like, it sounds dumb on paper. A bunch of split personalities, but it's not like that it's actually superhuman. He just believes he is.
Yeah. But then he is, and it's like, whoa!
But then he is, and it was horrifying. It was shocking.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they still have that vibe in this film. It would be quite a disappointment to me personally if they lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a bold approach to a movie. Especially
really good trailer too.
It's essentially making a franchise out of nothing through shock value and twists.
And original ideas. Let's give him some credit that, like, Unbreakable and Split are both very original stories. He's not borrowing from any source material. They're not previously existing characters. We're getting a franchise based off original characters from this guy. So I think it's pretty admirable.
Yeah, especially in this day and age where you see all these reboots and continuations, and it's all part of a interconnected universe that's been well established beforehand, and yeah, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I made like.
So?
I made a GIF.
Oh my
it doesn't have quite the same because it cuts to like Bruce Willis, but just to generally show what I'm talking about.
The still frame that Discord chose is so good. Just like catapulting into the grass.
And if you want to see it for yourself, because I'm not putting in the video, check out our Patreon. $1 a month to get access to the Patreon chat account.
Help us get our shirts back.
It just looks so impractical. Like, he's using so much energy to run that way, and he's only going, like, the same speed as someone who would normally run. You know, like, you'd expect him to at least be going, like, 50 miles per hour or something, but he's running at normal speed.
Come on, LJ, you gotta put it in the video.
No.
It was so much work.
Should have given this to me beforehand.
Oh
Sorry,
my
buddy.
God. So that's a movie that exists.
I will say the tagline though was really good. Like the way they edited that and the sound effects and everything. Like first name Mister, last name, drop, title, glass.
Yeah, that was
so
great.
good. That was epic, man. That was really well done. Good trailer.
What's next? They released a new
Well-
trailer for Fantastic Beasts, which is like, it's a good movie.
I haven't
It's
seen
gonna
it
be a
yet.
good movie. It was cool. I really need to see the first one.
Yeah, you do.
There were no big reveals. Oh wait, no, there is a big reveal. Oh my
Oh,
god,
oh,
you need to see the trailer.
I do want to watch it. I didn't realize there was a new trailer until halfway through this podcast. So
Purple says you haven't seen the first one. WTF mess? Yeah, I know. I'm like a poser Harry Potter fan.
we should do a sync view, viewing sync.
It was a plan. It's on the list. We're gonna get to it eventually, but there's another character from the Harry Potter mythos that shows up.
Can
in
I
the
watch this
movie.
trailer? Can I just like
But I
be right
think-
back and watch it?
Sure, be right back and watch it. We'll talk
Alright,
about
you
something
guys
else while you're gone.
Keep
Sure,
talking about
that's
it.
fine.
Let's talk about something probably only you and I will care about, LJ. Iron Fist season 2.
Yes.
Did you see the trailer?
I did. I did see the well, let's be honest, teaser.
Geez, it was very short. It was like mainly just a date announcement.
Yeah, and I mean that's fine. Okay, so I recently finished Luke Cage season 2, and was immensely disappointed with it. I was actually one of the people that liked the first season of Iron Fist. Don't get me wrong, it's not good. It's definitely one of the weakest MCU anythings outside of. It's one of the weaker ones of the Netflix pool of shows, but
I think it got a lot of undeserved flack. People over dramatized how bad it actually was.
I agree. I 100% agree. I do believe that that was almost entirely pushed by the fact that the actor was the actor that was cast.
Yeah, and that he wasn't Asian, even though in the comics he is white.
Yeah, well,
So-
it's like I had a brief discussion with VAR about this, and it's a lose-lose no matter what. Like, you cast him as who he was, and then cite the source material. Well, okay, the source material is awful. Why would you even go with that? Okay, well, let's cast an Asian actor. And then you're cut down the middle, because then you have people going, well, you're no longer abiding by the source material, and you have people saying, well, it's just a stereotype now. So there's no winning here. But outside of that, I thought that I enjoyed Iron Fist, but don't get me wrong, not because of Iron Fist, in spite of him, as VAR put it, which I thought was really good. So I'm looking forward to this, especially after the last two Marvel Netflix shows that were super disappointing, which was Jessica Jones season
Finn
2.
Jones has been training for years, and look at you.
Yeah, Jessica
He's been
Jones season
training
2
for
and Luke
like
Cage
2
season 2.
years to be a better fighter. He's been taking like classes and training and kung fu courses to actually be able to do solid fight choreography. Never have I been so hyped for a redemption run. And like
Yeah.
Scott Buck, the cursed showrunner, is gone.
He's gone.
It's a new, fresh take on the character. He showed up in. Well, I guess I won't spoil, but Danny Rand as a character is written far better nowadays than he was in his own show.
Yeah.
Everything he's been seen in since then, he's written much better. And if the fight choreography can back it up, I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, no. So I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it because I need another good Netflix show. The last one we had was The Punisher, in my opinion. So
Nothing will ever be better than The Defenders.
that's
The Defenders was a glorious show.
it is easily. I rank The Defenders at the bottom.
But LJ, it's Defenders.
Yeah, whatever.
How could you not be hyped? for
Very
the hand?
easily. I can very easily not be hyped after watching it.
Yeah. I'm
So-
just joking. Defenders is trash.
Yeah, no, I'm looking.
Nicholas Flamel.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, that's cool.
Yup.
I don't know who
Super
that is.
hype. It's the guy
he's
who
the
made
guy
the
that made this-
Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone, whatever. The
Sorcerer's
premise
Stone.
of the first Harry Potter book.
Yeah, dude, that trailer looked great, man. Mira Rivera said too. Oh man, that look. I'm hyped, man. That looks good.
Oh yeah.
You gotta
Purple,
watch the first one though.
We will watch it. I promise you this. Purple, we need to like rewatch the Marvel Netflix shows. You probably like repressed a lot of stuff from them. I
Just
remember
watch
you didn't like
Punisher.
Daredevil when it came out, which was baffling. But definitely watch Punisher.
What?
Watch them for yourself and judge. Recent entries have been admittedly half and half.
It seems too violent. Well, that was a mistake.
It seems too violent.
Yeah, Punisher is definitely violent. So
Oh
if you
yeah, and
can't
it's
handle-
awesome. Oh, sorry.
If you can't handle violence, don't watch it.
It doesn't have any eye horror though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, like one scene and nothing happens.
Eh,
Oh wait, no! I'm wrong!
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I think you're
it
forgetting
literally
a
just
very
clicked.
You're forgetting a very important.
Oh
impressed
yeah, oh
with
man.
Alright, never mind.
I mean, come on, Purple, you are missing out on some memorable Frank Castle quotes, like and
I'm not even gonna joke and be like, you should watch it. If you can't handle violence, do not watch it because it's got very brutal violence.
ZC's true. I forgot about Alright, don't listen to me. I've clearly forgotten things. But yeah, Fantastic Beasts looked cool.
Yes, it looked very good. I remember watching it for the first time and making the connection between the premise and like, oh, I know where this is going now, because of the Grindelwald stuff and the Ariana Dumbledore stuff, and yeah. So, as a Harry
Purple.
Potter fan, very cool stuff.
Purple asks, what even is the plot of the Punisher? Like he goes around killing people, didn't he ought to do that in Daredevil? I feel similarly, the plot of the Punisher is pretty convoluted, actually trying to explain it. Essentially, there's a conspiracy. It goes beyond simple criminals, and it's bigger than he thought. And he figures
like a
out
government
that
conspiracy
conspiracy.
sort of thing.
There's like a government conspiracy behind it, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't do much punishing in the show at all, as far as actually killing criminals.
yeah.
In fact, and it's not a spoiler. It's like a premise thing. He burns the costume in the first episode.
I remember when you were hoping that he'd have the costume, and it's like right out of the gate, it is gone. You were so frustrated.
Yeah.
Huh.
So anyway, Fantastic Beasts looks cool. What else aside from the big thing? Star Wars: The Clone Wars is back. For people who care about that, I've never personally seen it myself, but
It's okay.
I would be remiss to not mention it, considering how hyped I know everyone is to hear the news. It's big news.
I'm
I'll
a
not
little
deny this.
confused. Is this the 3D animated one that was more recent, or is this
Yes.
the 2D
Yes.
animated? Oh.
No,
3D animated. 2D one is
animated.
long dead.
Oh.
3D animated one is the beloved one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Pretty much.
cool. Maybe now it's time to get into it. Because, like, I was sent the news about this from someone I know, and they were like, hey, check it out. Now we get more Grievous. And I'm like, all right, I'm on board.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, it's because they never got to properly end the series, I believe. They had more story arcs planned, and they had to just like kind of talk about what they were going to be, but they never actually got to tell the story, and now they do. Now they get to. It's going to be an ending. It's not coming back to continue. It's 12 episodes on the Disney streaming service, and then it's gone for good again. But never underestimate the power of actually being able to end the season and end the series. What?
that was just a comment from the YouTube chat. It's really funny.
What
I
is
don't
it?
know if I can really repeat it here. It's you'll have to go see it. It's from
Cool.
Frederick. Anyway, yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'm intrigued. I'm not hyped because I never watched the show, but I'm
I'm
interested.
happy that people are so happy. You know, it's really cool. I've loved seeing the outpouring of joy in the Star Wars community. I like it when things go people's way. I'm a Bionicle fan, so I know how it feels to constantly be slighted when I have hopes for things. So I'm happy for you guys. I really am. And then the last little tidbit before we actually have a big discussion is Cloak and Dagger is apparently doing well enough to get renewed for season 2 before season 1 is even done, which I
That's
think is
cool.
a pretty impressive feat. I could be wrong, but
I mean, that
think
happens
it's
often
pretty
with
impressive.
movies. So it happened with the Punisher.
yeah,
I
that's
think.
fair.
Like, I
Yeah.
think the Punisher was confirmed for season 2 before season 1 even came out, but I don't know.
either way, I've yet to actually see Cloak and Dagger, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Not like best of the best show, but certainly not a bad show. I think it's gotten more general positivity than Runaways did, and I liked Runaways a lot. Speaking of season 2, that's filming, so that's gonna be fun. So I'm happy for fans of that, and I look forward to watching it myself. Now, Marvel. So in a world of beginnings and
Here's a
trailers,
conversation we're about to have.
this is about to be a conversation. In a week full of trailers and teases for new things, some things must end.
Oh my gosh.
One of those being Guardians of the Galaxy's continued success and prosperity as a franchise. Let's talk about James Gunn. I mean, James Gunn.
There was a quote
James
about
Gunn.
there was a quote somewhere in the patron chat about the Chekhov's gun. Can someone find that again? I thought it was really good.
I mean, I posted a tweet from John CJG, the person behind RB and the Chief, who was like something along the lines that at least Marvel's sticking to good old storytelling principles. If you hire a gun in the first act, you have to fire it by the third.
Yeah, that's really
or
good.
something thereof.
Yeah. So
let's in general. Here's the thing about this controversy: a lot of it's not appropriate for TTV, so we're not going to be discussing a lot of the specifics. All you need to know, really, as a primer, is that James Gunn had some very controversial tweets. Bad jokes.
And they were edgy jokes.
Edgy jokes. Very raunchy jokes. Man, Thunderhats.
Wow,
I
was
heard that.
crazy. Man,
I thought you
that
just
was wild,
moved a
dude.
chair.
I'm happy. It very rarely rains here. This is good. Made 10 years ago on his Twitter. And apparently this is known that this is kind of James Gunn's comedy style. Not those specific types of jokes per se, but the fact that he would have this kind of edgy, out there comedy. This is kind of what he was known for.
James Gunn had built a career on being not only edgy but also provocative and not very safe for work.
Yeah.
So
These are old
this is
tweets.
part of his resume. People know
acknowledged-
this about him.
He acknowledged and apologized for these tweets many years ago.
2012.
2012, which I believe was either
Was prior
It was
to Guardians.
it was prior to the release of Guardians. They were working on it. He was known to be the Guardians director, but it hadn't come out yet.
So let's just be clear. It's not even just that he posted the tweet to 2012, it's that he also publicly apologized for them.
Yeah, well, this controversy was a thing in 2012. And
Yeah.
a statement was already made. Marvel made a statement on it. He already apologized for the tweets. The movie came out. Cool. Everything was
Yeah.
fine.
Now, many years later, he's gone from Guardians. He's been
just been
fired.
fired.
A lot of things happened to bring these tweets into the public
Yeah.
light again. It's a whole big convoluted web that we're not really going to get into because it's like related to politics and stuff.
It was a political situation that had nothing to do with him, that he involved himself with, that ended up causing this to happen.
I mean, it's an easy explanation. He was criticizing someone for a tweet they made, basically.
Yes.
And then that kind of turned around on him, where people were like, "Wait, you can't criticize this dude while you're posting this on your Twitter." Insert edgy jokes 10 years ago, and that's where it all spiraled. Where everybody suddenly became aware of these edgy tweets he made. A gallery was made of all his like kind of raunchy humor and stuff, and
Indeed.
that was put out there. And that's where we're at now. So now,
And he is gone. Disney
Yeah.
has fired him completely from Guardians 3.
within 13 hours of the controversy happening.
That's
It
the
was
thing. It's
fast.
like I posted about it. It started up a few hours before. I posted about it in our TTV chat, which is at 3:09 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yep.
And then Ven posted at 2:40 p.m. Mountain Time that he was gone. Disney completely removed him from everything.
It was surreal. I saw you posted about it before I went to work, and then while I was at work, I checked my phone and saw he'd been fired, and I was like, "Oh my god, so much has happened."
Yeah, it really escalated very fast.
It's
Well-
horrible. Like, okay, it is a complex situation, because I don't approve of the jokes he made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
They're not funny.
They're not funny at all. It's about very, very poor subjects to joke about. However, there are added layers to this. I believe the fact that they're so old is one thing, but the fact that Marvel, Disney, they had to have known about this. As you mentioned, it's part of his resume. This was a controversy. They essentially only took action because it was made
people were
into
upset.
a public spectacle.
Yes. They fired him because as a response to the backlash that he got, which is pretty scummy. Because to me, there's 3 layers here that you can really kind of unpack the situation in, right? You've got the one layer where it's like, this is just a joke. They're just jokes, freedom of speech, whatever, that kind of thing. You can talk about that. The second layer is the age of it, obviously. They're so old that it's not representative of his character now, that kind of thing. You can unpack that. But also just like the third point of this being so well known, to me, is the most like egregious point for me, is like Disney knew the guy before they hired him and brought him on for Guardians 1. They knew what he was about, his previous work, what kind of a person he was. They brought him on, they hired him to make this movie. Not only did they do that, but they assigned him a movie based off a comic book that basically no one had ever heard about, ever. This really, like, D-list cast of characters that no one cares about. Pretty lame. Not going to be something that's good, the pop culture is going to like. And he was able to take that idea and turn it into something that makes money, right?
Yup.
A lot of money.
More than that, Guardians has become its own thing now. It's not necessarily as popular as Avengers, you know what I mean, as that group, that name recognition, but everyone knows Guardians of the Galaxy. It has a unique identity.
I don't know. I would say that Guardians was a major draw to Avengers 3.
You're right about that.
The fact that the Avengers and the Guardians are teaming up. I think the Guardians might be maybe not quite there, but pretty close to being just as popular as Avengers.
It was big. I mean, the 2 movies have made over $1 billion collectively in the box office. That's a massive number.
It's insane that this guy was able to take this weird premise and turn it into something so good.
Almost entirely because of his own style and framing and the personality he brought to the proceeding.
Exactly. His creative vision is what turned it around. And that, to me, is a big deal. Because I feel like this firing is very unjust for something that really wasn't that big of a deal, old, and then you're also removing this dude from something that he helped establish, basically. The reason this is so big, so massive, making so much money is because of this guy, and they fired him prior to the 3rd volume. He was excited working on the 3rd volume. He's already posting like pictures that were like
he submitted the script.
Hype boosters. Submitted the script. They better not use that script.
Well, the thing is,
at the very least, they better credit him.
Well, there was another argument coming up throughout all of this. While this was going on, obviously enough, because of the comments, the tweets that James Gunn had made, a lot of people were looking for a chance to really bag on him. One of the things that came down on him for was that he took a lot of the credit. He co-wrote the Guardians 1 script with another writer. I don't recall her name, but I'm looking it up. And according to these claims, he made it so that she wasn't accredited. It was just him for the script. So I'm sure a lot of people would take the opportunity to say, well, use the script, just don't credit him.
Oh my god.
So,
Probably.
okay, yeah, her name was
Probably a thing.
Nicole Perlman, and she was either one of or the writer for Volume 1.
I remember this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a bit of a controversy because he kind of came in and took over. She wrote the screenplay for Captain Marvel, so she's still involved.
Oh, nice.
She's still there. Cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
But,
There's a lot of layers to this involving, responsibility, proper punishment for the crime, and also like I saw a good post earlier. It's like, how are people? The age-old adage is be careful what you post on social media because it will come back to haunt you, and that's true, and that's a good way to live. But also, at what point, when you change and evolve as a person, are you never allowed to shake off the actions
Yeah.
of your past. Everyone has said dumb things at some point or other they wish they could take back. And if the evidence is there that you have actually, changed for the better, James Gunn, he still has his kind of edgy comedy, but he hasn't made anything like that in years. He doesn't
Yeah.
do that anymore.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it also depends on like the severity of what was done in the past versus how much time you are like where we're at now. Also what you're actively doing at that time as well. Like it's not like this guy's running for president or anything, right? He's just making movies.
A movie making.
Yeah, he's just a director. Like, it'd be one thing if we were going through his tweets to categorize his character and figure out how he's going to run our country. But that's not what we're doing. He's just making movies. It's just an artist doing his thing. You can choose to support him or not by seeing the movie or not. But I don't feel like these tweets are something that justified firing the guy.
Yeah, I don't think that they were good tweets. Obviously, they weren't funny. They weren't really good in any regard. They're very, very inappropriate. At the same time, I don't know if they're... I mean, the problem is this is a very popular thing. Someone will say something really stupid from a long time ago. It'll be dug up and used to destroy them. You will be absolutely fired for things that you say online. And I stress, be very careful. Like, word everything you say very carefully. If it's online, it's permanent.
And it's the content of the tweet as well is what really matters, though. Because like there are people who have lost their jobs because of things they did in the past that absolutely deserved to lose their job for it.
Yes.
That is a thing that like absolutely should have happened for some of these people. But I don't believe that this situation applies to this person in this situation because of the actual content of the tweets. I don't know. For me, the outcome wasn't very justified, and it's disheartening because he made a really good franchise that I'm a big fan of, and knowing that it's going to continue without him is kind of, like head scratching.
I don't know if it's going to be the same. I really don't.
I don't know if the quality is going to be the same or not. And even if it is, I feel like I'm gonna feel dirty going to go see that movie, knowing how the situation went down, because I just don't think it was justified or fair in any regard. Like this guy's career, his legacy that he's built up, that has been tarnished over some really dumb jokes.
See, yep. At the same time, I'm also a little bit torn. Not necessarily because of the firing, but because it's one of those instances where don't throw stones in glass castles. And the situation that occurred that started all this... Wait, what?
No, it's going. Don't worry about it.
What, was that improperly said?
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
I'm just memeing it's glass houses, not castles going.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
it matters.
I mean, it's Disney Castle. Anyway, the situation that started this all was very unrelated to him. It was a situation he definitely inserted himself into. And, if I were dumb enough to make tweets of that caliber, I would never forget about them, especially after making a public statement, and then go and insert myself into a situation where it could possibly be darning to me.
Darning?
Yeah, darning. So at the same time, it's like, you really do have to be careful. I've said this before.
Darn Batman.
But it's one of those things
where...
That's
a pretty darning evidence, let me tell you.
So darning.
It was dumb. He shouldn't have said it.
Gosh darn, that's darning.
He shouldn't have gotten involved. He should have just laid low. I don't think that he deserved to be fired because of it. At the same time, he should have exuded caution. Everyone should exude caution in what they say and how they carry themselves.
He was being a little hypocritical. He deserved to be called out for it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And he deserved to be ridiculed for it because it was pretty stupid.
Definitely. He did not deserve to be fired.
Yeah, the escalation from that into firing him is ridiculous.
In less than 13 hours, as you said. I feel that it was a massive overreaction. And it shouldn't have happened. Now, I do think that I would see Guardians 3 provided they bring on Taika Waititi. If they have him do the third Guardians, I'd be on board.
Yeah, dang. you're right.
I've been here. This is a
Yeah.
very popular request. A lot of people have been saying, here's what you do. You want to resolve this situation? Bring on Taika Waititi for the third film. Throw in Thor.
Yeah. That would cause me to go see it.
Yep. Keep in mind, this is
Yes.
not my idea. This is one that I've been seeing very frequently
I
online.
mean, my whole thing is I'm just not the kind of person. Some would call it being like weak-willed because I don't want to like stand for anything, which is a fair critique.
Evidently.
I'm just not the type. I'm just not the type to like support petitions or like boycotts of things.
I'm usually not, but I feel very strongly about this, so
I respect that.
I'm definitely not going to see the movie.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I'll probably see it, but like I was already skeptical about Guardians 3. I'll be honest, because I'm not sure how Avengers 4 is going to shake out, especially with Gamora and the like. This just adds another wrinkle of complexity to the whole situation. I hope for the best for Marvel's sake, but at the same time, if it flopped, that would send a message.
It would send a message for sure.
I don't know.
I mean, like, yeah, I think it's important to understand the nuance between these things that happen. Some people deserve to be fired, some people don't deserve to be fired, and if we're going to be doing the mob mentality thing where we get people fired because of the things they've done in the past, which we shouldn't be doing, but if we're going to, people need to realize when it's appropriate and when it isn't. So I don't know. I especially for these major corporations that have people's lives on the line, like their livelihoods.
It just goes to show how easy things can change based on public outcry nowadays.
Yeah.
Which is all it was, It was the outcry. It was the image of impropriety, even though this is not news. This was not something that was done poorly nowadays. The mere fact that it was being talked about was enough for them to do this, which I find a very interesting.
Which is interesting.
comment on
There's been a lot
society
of like. So sorry.
No, that's all.
Okay. I was gonna say there's been a lot of like conspiracy theories about like how they Disney clearly wanted him out to begin with, and this was the perfect opportunity to do it, which is interesting. And I can't I don't think there's any like credence to it, but it is interesting how fast they reacted.
I almost feel like, how they say that the internet has a very short memory?
Mm-hmm.
A part of me feels like this happened in 2012, the internet acknowledged it, forgot about it, and because they forgot about it, this comes up again, no one remembered that it already happened, and it kind of bit them.
Interesting.
And so it's weird. I do agree. It's
very
super
weird.
strange. The counter theory I heard to yours, Var, was that because Disney has been in such a PR quagmire as of recently, this was something they're kind of jumping on things left and right. Specifically with Star Wars. And so they're trying desperately to quell everything before it crops up. Star Wars, the Fox merger, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I understand the difficult position that the company is probably in as well, assuming, that they didn't want to just get rid of James Gunn, because he's, But, like, the PR relations is really difficult for a company, I'm sure, as big as Disney.
Silence sends a message of, I'm not sure the word, agreement, but something along those lines. It would imply that they agree with the tweets, but that's really not what it would be implying if you think about it. I don't know.
And when everybody's so quick to jump down their throats and blame them for every negative thing, it makes sense that they would be like, all right, well, we can't, we have to do something, because if we just sit here, then it's gonna ruin our movies again. So
I mean, at the same time, and people have pointed this out online, it seems awfully hypocritical of Disney to have done this so quickly when they still employ people and keep people on the payroll who have notably done, like, actively, not just said awful things, but done awful things, like Johnny Depp beating his wife, or
that's kind of a big thing.
Or there's a Lasseter guy, and I don't remember what he did. I don't remember if
Speaking of Johnny Depp and his wife, SDCC put them in the same panel hall together.
Yeah, that was
Big controversy because she's in Aquaman and he's in Fantastic Beasts, and both are Warner Brothers.
I don't think they're together anymore, but
Of course they're not. They're divorced.
So it was yeah, it just seems hypocritical because Disney obviously has people still employed which are unbelievably controversial who have done horrible things. Like, there's nothing to suggest that based on what James Gunn has said that he's actually done any of those things, that he's actually like that person. You can make a joke and not be a certain way.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's all about the discussion of how far can comedy be taken. And there's so many, like, guidelines on comedy nowadays.
Well, and it sucks too because it's also like the fact that the tweets are so old. I mean, like, comedy evolves and changes over time, and jokes from 2008, 2010, those were edgier than jokes now are. Like, what is acceptable then was different than what's acceptable now. Even then, those jokes are not funny. But like I pointed out, like those jokes aren't something that you wouldn't see in like South Park, for instance. Which even South Park has mellowed out in terms of its like edginess in terms of humor. That's matured as well, but like it's just an example of like if we dig back and look at our history, we can see all the awful, deplorable things with hindsight and context, but is it really fair to judge them based off that? We can't. I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
It depends on the situation, obviously, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's nuance that needs to be taken into account.
Yeah. Like, if you looked back at even old podcast episodes that we've done and seen the things we say, there is no guarantee that looking back at those, we'd even agree with anything that we said.
Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely. I already have things that I have said in the past in my mind right now that I know that I don't believe anymore.
Yeah, same.
Same. I'm the exact same way. Except everything about Bionicle G2, I stand by all that. No,
give it 10 years. Let's see. It's too. Okay, I hate that you said this earlier, Var, because I've told Meso I don't want to plug my show here. I feel that's disingenuous. I feel that's inappropriate of me. But I had the show earlier, and my guest had said, as of now, G2 has been canceled as long as we had it. And I thought, what a great point! What an absolutely spectacular point! It has been a year and a half or so. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary since it got canceled.
That's so freaking funny.
It's like, wow, I hadn't even thought about that. You're right. Like, jeez.
Oh, Bionicle.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
It's really funny.
That's hilarious.
But
don't laugh at our tears.
No, we're gonna laugh ourselves to tears.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Go check out the LJ Johnson show.
I didn't say that. I didn't even name the show. Thank you.
Listen, I don't think there's a problem with promoting your show.
I don't want to do it.
Too much.
Anyway, back to the point. I think this was an overreaction on Disney's part. For the record, a petition isn't going to work here. You can have a ton of people signing some change.org petition. Hire James Gunn back. It's not going to happen. If you really want to make a change, politely contact Disney, politely state why you disagree with their decision, and send it. Be polite, be respectful, send them
and then
a
don't
message.
See the movie.
Or send them a message with your wallet. Don't go see the movie. Don't go see... Okay, no. Oh, nuts. The next Marvel movie is Captain Marvel. I was going to say, don't go see the next Marvel movie. That might be an issue.
That would get misconstrued.
That's going to get twisted. So, you can't really do that. But
see Captain Marvel. Don't see Avengers 4. That'll show your dedication.
Oh, but it's Avengers 4. Gosh darn it.
I'm just joking. If you care enough about the issue, don't see Guardians 3 in theaters. That's how you would make a stand if you were to. But, the skeptic realist in me says, with the exception of VAR, because I believe it is conviction about issues like this, the vast majority of people, when the time comes, will just forgotten about this, and they'll see the movie in theaters.
Yeah, most likely.
I
But
expect
if you are passionate about this issue, that's how you would do it.
And
Change.org petitions will do nothing.
That's really
Stop
how
believing they will do something.
that's how actual like boycotts work. It's like if you don't like a company or person that has said or done something you don't agree with, you stop using their service or watching their content. That's it. That's how it's done.
Yep. Pretty much.
So
there you go. That is our take on the James Gunn situation.
I think that's pretty much everything.
It's pretty much all. There's some Ninjago news from SDCC that, as of this recording, hasn't come out. We'll be talking about that probably on a Ninjago Cast episode later this week. There's some Lego news in general from SDCC, but nothing major. We'll probably touch upon it next Brick Feed. This is the biggest news has all been discussed.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we had Super Chat enabled on our YouTube streaming thing. Did that just auto happen?
I think maybe. I don't even know what Super Chat is really.
It's like it's just a way to make donations. You can like send money over like live streams or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to donate, we have a Patreon. You can donate as little as $1 and you get access to the cool sponsor chat, which is basically a Discord chat for TTV's elite fans.
Have we
lots
had
of cool
Super Chat
discussion.
donations? I really hope we haven't, because I have not been paying attention to the YouTube chat.
That would.
I think we had like one or two a long time ago.
Oh no, I feel so bad for those people because
I think we shouted out the person.
Okay.
I'm
It
not even
wasn't
sure
while I
how
was
we
there.
ever got them. I'm not even sure if we ever got the money. I don't know where we'd go to check. I guess maybe it would just come through with AdSense.
And
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know where that money goes.
I'm sorry.
Looks
Where
like
does that go? Would that go to our MCM or?
we gotta look this up off air. But,
And before we have like $100 just chilling in Super Chat.
Interesting.
so this something else is interesting. As an update to the James Gunn thing, Sean Gunn, his brother, has made a statement on Instagram about an hour ago, and it's a bit of a long one. So I'm not gonna really do anything with this right now. I'll go ahead and post the link in the patron chat, but that's there for anyone that's interested.
Is there anything worth noting?
I don't know. I
Or
haven't
is
read it.
Just like, I love and support my bro. Desire to be an artist. The struggle to find that voice was sometimes clunky, misguided, or downright stupid, and sometimes wonderful, moving, and hilarious. I've seen him channel that voice into his work and saw him transform from the guy who made up things to shock people. He went from worrying about softening his edge to realizing that his edge wasn't as useful of a tool as he thought it was. That his gift for storytelling was something.
It's a long thing, and the
Very well
bottom
written.
line is he's supportive of his brother, obviously.
My hope is that fans continue to watch and appreciate the Guardians movies, not despite the fact that the filmmaker used to be kind of a jerk, but because of it. They are, after all, movies about discovering your best self.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why
Fair enough.
I'm probably still gonna see the Marvel films, still. So
All right,
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
So, yeah, I don't know.
We need the spin-off Guardy Guns of the Galaxy.
okay, we're ending. We're done. Do you guys have anything else to say that is not like that?
Comedy is an art, and I just leveled up my painting skill.
Comedy. If comedy is an art, you're blind.
I unlocked the watercolor skill tree.
You're an artist with no arms, no mouth, and no legs. You cannot paint. You're just torso boy sitting there in front of a canvas looking at the paint.
Torso boy.
Oh my god. On the new insensitive things LJ can say list. Watch as he makes fun of people with no limbs.
Oh my gosh.
Purple draw torso
Great.
boy
Here we
comment.
go.
Says,
There we go. Full screen's
Lay him
gonna get
in
a
front
hold
of-
of this and be
Hey-
like,
hey,
drop
Lee
him right
says-
now.
Haley says, lay him in front of a door and he's called Matt.
Okay, we're done.
You are a glorious person, Haley.
You're frustrating. Both of you are.
Oh yeah, LJ, I'm gonna have to fire you for that joke. That was really insensitive.
That was less than 12 seconds.
We had you as you've been
Just about our business relations.
Whatever that Bionicle quote was, I forgot it was.
Yeah.
Bionicle quote.
That's something about like we had you as long as you've been fired for as long as we had you. Something
Comedy
like
is a riddle, and today you're firing is the answer.
Shut up!
It's okay though. You can have Speeder go on Instagram and say like how he supports you.
Oh, he's. Oh my gosh, he's not even here right now. I can't even have that.
So today, our patron shout out for the week. Let me see.
For the multi-weeks, because we only do this on the TTV podcast.
You're not wrong.
I know. So I said.
You know what? Just because of that, I'll shout out like 5 people for all the Ninjago cast.
Well, it's not even special anymore.
Shout out to Cardax /
I would
Pixel.
I would want to be
playing
shout out
Minecraft.
amongst a bunch of other people.
Shout out to Humble Gupala Fisherman, aka Ulti. Shout out to Magic Ninja, who's been bringing us all the SDCC news. Sometimes useful, sometimes not, but it's appreciated either way. Very thorough. Shout out to Dark Takanuva. And shout out to Petrus. There's 5 people. Bar. Thank you all.
Rudest shout out you could have ever made.
Seriously.
Magic loves the comedy.
I'm sorry on your behalf.
Currently cosplaying as the Overlord. Listen, Magic knows what's up. All right.
My goodness.
She took over 120 pictures, and she sent them to me. She's
So
thorough.
rude.
My gosh. Oh, man, I really like listening to the
Sometimes
TTV
useful, sometimes
podcast.
not. I'm sorry, Magic. Dude, stop being a patron. Just stop. We don't deserve it. Take your
Thank
business somewhere else.
thank Meso for that one.
My God.
Man, I really like
know
listening to
you
the
like
TTV
comedy.
podcast, except for the hosts sometimes. They're sometimes good, sometimes not.
Magic says, "Hey, I don't mind." There you go.
Fine.
Magic likes my comedy.
Oh, I'm glad that you are forgiving, Magic.
Indeed. So that's 5 shout-outs. Thank you all for all that you did supporting the TTV community. Now please tell your friends, because we want our shirts back.
Yes.
I really want to sell shirts.
We're
again.
so close. It's really annoying.
We just have to like be able to sustain it. That's why we have this stupid threshold, is because like it is a lot of money and time to put into selling the shirts. But it's gonna be cool if we can ever get it up. Purple can do some new designs, maybe. It'll be great. Purple, make Vindicaris t-shirts.
Sorry, she.
Yeah, I feel like she already does that.
She's in the chat right now saying, "For Fig's sake, bring them back." Ugh. Listen, that's what we're trying.
Fig Batman.
And on that note, this ends episode 298 of the TTV podcast. We'll see you all next time.
Timing of that gift.
Oh man.
Alright, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks all for listening to this mega podcast. I'm Messa.
I'm Var.
I'm LJ.
Farewell, everybody.
Wait,
Adios.
Messa, we have a lot more music left.
Let it play.
Okay.
Just turn the volume up, yo.
Oh my God.
Purple, we're still live.
Turn it
No,
up, you said?